Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to a very interesting episode in which we're gonna talk about this heavy trooper chip refinement tool. Yes, you heard me right. It sounds super weird, it sounds super crazy, but the reality is it's actually implemented in game right now. But before we do that, allow me to make two very important remarks. Of course, the first one, a massive shout out goes out to Mr. Tom for helping me producing this episode. And the second remark, you're probably gonna hear it throughout this video in my voice, a funny note. And yeah, that's because my account here, it's a VIP 16 since January 2022. I try my best to buy every single of these things here in order to test them, in order to show you guys it's worth it, it's not worth it, buy it or don't buy it if you have the possibility. But yeah, you guessed it, there are also some limits, in this case tools like this, which we're gonna explain in this video, which are in a different parallel universe than where my account actually is. So, okay, let's start. Have you ever wondered yourself, oh my god, I think my stats in TOPWAR are extremely low and I want more. So have you ever wondered yourself that? So fear no more, River Game has its priority crystal clear and they are working exactly on this. In other words, yes, what you're seeing here on the screen is the chip specialization, or in other words, this is a system exactly like the gear has right here. Let me give you an example. We go to my Gypsy. And if I pick a piece of gear, you have this option right here called a refine. So it's working similar to this. I pick an extra piece of gear with the stats, I put it up there, and I'm gonna upgrade the existing one. And the one which the stats were used from will be sacrificed. In other words, it will go away. So this is the same system we are seeing with the heavy troop chip sets here. Good, so let's briefly recapitulate regarding these heavy trooper chips by going into the menu and having a look at this. You see here my account having the chip overclocking. You see on the other side the screenshot from Mr. Tom also have the chip overclocking, but he has an extra tab in these valuable events simply because this option is not yet unlocked for me. Why? Because in order to unlock this tool, you have to have a minimum of 2 Ruby chips, which are obtained from overclocking. So let's have a look here on my account, and I need 2 more of these chips in order to get 1 Ruby heavy trooper chip. And as soon as I'm getting the second one, then yes, I'm gonna see this tab opening up also for me, in which I can take one of these Ruby, which is by the way extremely precious and extremely expensive, because for 1 Ruby I need to use 4 Opal chips to overclock them, and for each Opal chip I will gonna need 4 Amethyst chips, and of course for each Amethyst chips I'm gonna need another 4 of the normal chips. So in other words, yes, a Ruby, it's 64 of this overclocking, which is, yeah, super crazy, isn't it? And the option will actually gonna open once you have 2 rubies, and that's why this video is super important. Even if I cannot show you exactly this procedure, it's very important for you to understand its value and what can you do with it without actually wasting this, because it's definitely a very bad idea once you have the second ruby to actually waste it, to actually sacrifice it just for 1 piece of stat. So how much of a value has actually this tool? Of course, has a massive value in the game, being able to push even harder on these important stats. Now, if we have a look here at the condition of specializations, of course, you will not be able to apply this on the random stats of the middle chip. So that's not gonna happen. But what you can do, you can apply it on the random attributes, which you see it on every single of these chips right here, and replace another one which you don't need. In this case, let's say for example, I could replace this heavy trooper invulnerable 4.41% with something else. And of course, this tool will push the stats to an even higher level Because you can imagine you take one of the chips here. Now I have DEF, for example, not quite fitting because this is the chip applied on the tanks. So I could have DEF of the tanks, DEF of units, damage increase and damage decrease. All these 4 stats will be an absolutely insane strong chip. So how should you approach this? As always, beautiful people, this is my recommendation. This is a very, very expensive tool. And is this tool actually needed in TOPWAR? And the honest answer is yes. But the second important question is actually for whom, or more important, for when is actually this tool required? And this is something we gonna start probably to use in round about 1 year from now, or maybe even later. Let's presume the game survives that long. That's no question about it. Because then we're gonna have enough of these chips in order to afford to sacrifice one of these rubies. Because if you have a look at all my chips here, actually some people asked me to do a special video in which I show you all my chips, and that's exactly what I'm also gonna do in this episode. So if you have a look at them, I'm super happy with this and it's super fine. There's no point to hurry, there's no point to stress yourself. This is what I have, for example, on the Navy, because up Navy, up the blue heavy trooper, I start to combine the chips, focusing more on the stats than actually on getting this bonus for the set itself. So don't stress yourself too much with this one for the time being. Because yeah, this is another massive push on the stats. Because when you thought that tools like, for example, the hero exclusive skill recycling tool or the matchmaking or more battle events, when you thought those things are super important for the game, like me also, for example, then this is not quite the reality for the River game. For them, these are just simply peanuts, and stuff like this are more important. So in other words, if I were ever allowed to give them an honest tip, because the health of the game, it's important for us as players, but also for them as a company, I would say if you just focus 1%, 2%, or maybe maximum, let's say 5% of your developing time in order to invest in the tools which actually the game needs, because we have so much coming soon right now. Let me give you an example here. When it comes down to expeditions, this is like this for at least 3 years now. So beautiful people, as always, yeah, don't forget to support this channel, subscribe to this channel, give us a hand. We are now on our way to 13,000 subscribers. Dear beautiful people, I also have an extra request which I have to make as of right now, and probably this week I'm experiencing some health issue with a very dear family member of mine, which requires definitely my help to focus on him and not on the game. So from this perspective, I'm still gonna do videos, and I'm trying to do a video also after reset. But if you could give me a hand in the comments of the videos, whenever you see somebody asking a questions, the vast majority of these questions are for a lot of people absolutely simple questions, and you know the answer, and you can jump in and help that player ASAP. That will be fantastic. So beautiful people, thank you very much for watching, and yes, don't forget to see me in the next episode. Ciao.